So we're gonna start on our kale salad. I had a hard time finding the lacinato kale or the Tuscan kale. I gotta tell you, this is a very good lesson in being super flexible. You don't want to pre-decide your menu completely to where when you go to a store or a market, you can't find what you need. So just know that like a menu is supposed to be evolutionary, and it's okay if you have to like kickball change a little bit to make it work. So we used the delicious curly variety of kale, also wonderful. I feel like lacinato also had a decade of time, and maybe its moment should be over. So any kale you want, super fine. We're just taking off this really woody hard stalk. Dogs love these. Do not throw these away. This is my dog's favorite treat, and it's very good for digestion and for their breath. Easiest way to get nice fine shreds of kale is to take the bigger leaves and roll up the smaller leaves, and then take your knife through them. So we're just gonna make little chiffonades, little ribbons. So we've got our delicious kale, and you're gonna do the whole 2 bunches. I'm not, because I earned the right to not have to. So I've got some delicious Brussels sprouts here. I did already peel off the outer leaves. I kept a couple of them so that you could see what I mean. You wanna hang on to this root because it's what's gonna help you hold it so that you don't chop your fingers off, particularly if you're using a mandolin. Go slowly. Nobody is in a rush, and we prefer to keep all digits intact, particularly for lovely dinner parties. So we're just gonna take off those couple outer leaves like that. I'm gonna cut these small ones because they're harder to use a mandolin. And you just wanna shave them as thinly as possible. So don't feel like you have to go fast. You can cut them in half long ways if you'd like for a more stable surface. And then you can kind of go through them really quickly. And this is also for those of you who don't have a mandolin. It's not a necessity in a kitchen. It is just quite helpful. Okay, also don't throw away your Brussels sprouts if your dogs like them. So here's our mandolin. We're gonna take the big boys and we're just gonna go in one direction down. Voila, same result. Shaved Brussels sprouts, perfectly fine. Shave the whole bag. I'll catch up with you later. Dressing for the kale salad couldn't be any simpler. We finely diced a shallot. Remember when I taught you how to finely dice that onion? Same thing goes for the shallot. And then this has some pureed garlic also in it, which you can do in large quantities if you'd like, by just putting a little bit of garlic and olive oil in a blender and keeping it in your fridge. So we've got the shallots, we've got the garlic, we've got a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard, every chef's favorite condiment, or at least one of them. We've got some Dijon, we've got freshly squeezed lemon juice, and then we're going to add our good olive oil. We're gonna whisk it. We're gonna let all that macerate for a little while and let the shallot mellow out and let the garlic mellow out. And then that's gonna be the dressing for our kale salad. It's super simple, very fresh, very light. Whisk, whisk, whisk. You can do this in a food processor too if you like it like a smoother dressing. I don't mind the hits. Let's do a little bit more olive oil because olive oil is delicious. And that's it. We'll taste it for salt after this. I will say the kale salad has 2 different types of cheeses. It has a pecorino romano and a parmigiano reggiano. Both are salty. The pecorino particularly is quite salty. So I probably wouldn't add much salt to your dressing, maybe just like a pinch, if anything, of fine sea salt, and a little black pepper if you care for it. And that's it. You're gonna massage it into the kale and toss it with the cheese, put it on a plate. We have our shredded Brussels sprouts. We have our chiffonade of kale. We're gonna add some parmigiano reggiano, which is delicious Parmesan from the Italian region, Reggio. Let's go with that. It feels totally right. Totally just blanked on all of that. We've got some Parmigiano Reggiano, some Pecorino Romano. Pecorino Romano is quite salty. The Parmigiano Reggiano is also salty but nuttier. So depending on what your preference is, this is definitely stronger in flavor and in scent. This is nutty and mellow. This is sharp and delightful. And we're gonna add our dressing in that we already whisked. More salt and more fat, because salt and fat make everybody happy. They are roasted and salted. They are crunchy and fabulous. You can do all of the roasting and salting if you want, but I just buy the Blue Diamond. I think that's a nice, quick hit. All right, so we're in here. We are massaging. I like to kind of pile high and leave some negative space in the bowl because that is art, my friends. Finish it with a little cheese. And voila!